What is going on, sports fans? John from Odyssey Sports coming back at you with another NFL video. And today, guys, we finally have the matchups for the conference championships, of course. We're going to have Kansas City and Buffalo, and then, of course, Green Bay and Tampa facing off against each other. And I just want to give you guys my predictions. Again, I'm going to give you guys my takeaways, of course, after this week. The games are on Sunday, of course, tomorrow. Don't forget to tune into those games, guys. They're going to be awesome games, fantastic games. I think both games are going to be shootouts. So definitely tune into those games. Again, we're going to have the Pro Bowl after that. And, 2 weeks away from Sunday, we're going to have the Super Bowl. So be sure to tune into the Super Bowl too, guys. It's going to be a fantastic conclusion to this really strange NFL season, but a very exciting NFL season. And then, of course, once the off season starts, I'll start making videos again about the Giants, what I think other teams in the league will do. Will Deshaun Watson go to the Jets? I don't know, but I just want to dive into some news from this past week in the NFL for you guys. So, of course, Mahomes, he's good to go. He went through the concussion protocol after the scary hit last week against Cleveland in the divisional round. It looked like Mahomes had got hit, in the head, neck area, but it looked like he got, I don't know if it was a helmet or an elbow or an arm, a leg. I can't remember exactly, but he got hit in the neck. And he got up. He looked really disoriented. He looked confused, dizzy, didn't know where he was. But Mahomes went through the concussion protocol. He's good to go. Mahomes said himself that the injury wasn't that bad. So he's gonna make Kansas City dangerous, and we're gonna get into that later in the video. How Buffalo will match up against Kansas City since he's back in the lineup now. But Mahomes does have that toe injury that we're really not sure. What that is. If he has a broken toe, if he dislocated it or something like that, we're not sure, but that definitely can impact Kansas City's rushing attack, Mahomes' mobility because he's very dangerous with his legs. So that can definitely have an impact on Kansas City come Sunday. Secondly, guys, I want to get into Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn, he got hired as the Lions' new offensive coordinator. Um, if I remember correctly, I can't remember the Lions' new head coach. Uh, Let me just look this up real quick. What's his name again? Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell. That's right. Dan Campbell used to play for the Lions too. I can't remember what position he played exactly, but you saw. I'm not sure if you guys saw the conference with Dan Campbell. He just looks like a really, I don't know. He almost comes across to me as like a WWE wrestler. Didn't really seem a lot of. You didn't really seem, head coachy. I guess you could say. I just didn't get that vibe from him. But Anthony Lynn's going to be joining him. The Lions, obviously, they let go of Matthew Stafford. We'll get into that soon. But Anthony Lynn, obviously, the Chargers, former head coach, he got fired this past season. Anthony Lynn went 33-31 with the Chargers in 4 seasons. Not exactly that impressive, but he did get them to the postseason. They went 1-1 in the postseason, so there's that for Anthony Lynn. Not a bad resume, but could definitely be better. I also want to get into Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he's been ignoring calls from the Houston Texans, not returning any calls to the higher ups, the executives, and of course he wants to be traded from there. And actually, this past week, I think just a few hours ago, Deshaun Watson expressed that he'd much rather play for the Jets over the Miami Dolphins. And I know a lot of Dolphins fans want Deshaun Watson instead of Tua. Send the Houston Texans Tua. Multiple first round picks, and you can get Deshaun Watson, and you would just elevate that team. But going to the Jets, I think, makes a lot more sense. Build around Deshaun Watson. You're probably gonna have to give up draft capital, obviously, but the Jets they have a lot of cap space. In the future, they could build around Deshaun by drafting well. You could go after some big names in free agency. You could get an Allen Robinson. You could get a Kenny Galladay to give him a weapon. You could also maybe get a defensive piece. Get Shaq Barrett and really improve that defensive line. He's a great pass rusher, and he knows how to stop the run as well. And he's going to be a free agent in the offseason. But all these guys, uh, they're going to demand big contracts, but nothing that the Jets can't afford. And like I said earlier, guys, Dan Campbell's the new head coach in Detroit. Anthony Lynn's joining him, and Matthew Stafford is gone, unfortunately, for Detroit. But in the long run, I think this is good for both parties. Matthew Stafford, he went to the Lions requesting a trade, or he wanted to be released, and the Lions, I think they agreed with him. They both agreed that they needed to part ways. They needed fresh starts. So the Lions complied with his demands. Detroit could go after Zach Wilson. They could go after Justin Fields if he falls to them. You could even go after Trey Lance, or how you could find your quarterback somewhere else. Get a wide receiver in free agency or draft one, and uh, you know, start the rebuild, I guess you could say. But Matthew Stafford still waiting on to be traded. He could go to a team like New England or Washington. He could go into Indianapolis since Philip Rivers retired recently. He could even go to the Panthers. Who knows? Maybe the Panthers want to move on from Teddy Bridgewater. But he does have $43 million left on his contract, 2 years left, and he's only 32 years old. So Matthew Stafford is still very dangerous. Played through a lot of injuries this year, but he still had a very good season. So Matthew Stafford can definitely make a team a lot better if he signs with them. And lastly, Philip Rivers, he retired after 17 years this past week. 16 of those years with the Chargers, of course, 8-time Pro Bowler with the Chargers, and he played another year with the Colts this year, and he got them to the playoffs. So Philip Rivers was by no means a bad player. He's from that 2004 draft class with Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. And Philip Rivers, he has a good resume. I think he's fifth all time in passing, fifth all time in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He's very good, but he doesn't have any championships to show for it like Eli and Ben do. So I think a lot of people, they rate Phil Rivers below those two guys, maybe second, but he still doesn't have those championships, and that can definitely hurt his case for the Hall of Fame. Um, Philip Rivers was a good player. I respect him a lot, and I do think he will make the Hall of Fame ultimately. So, guys, let's move into the AFC and the NFC championship games. Just want to run by these real quick, give you guys my keys to victory for both teams and why I think both teams can win in each conference championship game. So, we're going to start off with the Bills and the Chiefs, and here's why things will be different. Of course, the Chiefs are favored by 3 points. They think the over under will be 54.5. I'm just reading this off for you guys. And a lot of people have Kansas City winning. A lot of people, I don't want to say people are doubting Buffalo. They're not counting them out, but they think Kansas City will win since Patrick Mahomes is back and they're not playing with Chad Henne. Stephon Diggs, though, don't count him out. He has 6 receptions in 15 straight games. That in 15 straight games, 6 receptions in each of those games. That's dominant. That's just elite. Stephon Diggs is having a crazy season, of course. And Travis Kelce has at least 8 catches in 8 of the past 9 games. Another crazy statistic that makes that Chiefs offense so dangerous. Buffalo, they're trying to reach their first Super Bowl since 1993, of course. From I think 1990 to 1993, 1994, they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all of them. So hopefully Buffalo can finally get over that hump and solidify them as a great team, a great franchise. In Kansas City, of course, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. They're trying to fend off Buffalo to reach another Super Bowl and get another Lombardi. Get Patrick Mahomes another Lombardi to add to that legacy. So we'll see what goes on. But here are my keys to victory for both teams. So to begin with the Bills, like I mentioned, Patrick Mahomes, he's active for this game against the Bills. But this does make it more difficult for the Bills, honestly, on defense. But don't count their defense out. Buffalo has been playing its best football in the last few weeks, especially their defense. When the two last played in week, I'm not sure. I think it was week 6. Kansas City and Buffalo played. Kansas City won the game 26-17. Josh Allen was playing with a shoulder injury that game, however, and that really did impact his throwing ability. Of course, it was a nagging injury that he eventually got over. But Tre'Davious White was not playing. Tremaine Edmonds was not playing. John Brown wasn't. I mean, they all were playing. Excuse me, but they're all playing with injuries, so they weren't 100%. And Matt Milano didn't play that game. That's where I got mixed up. Matt Milano didn't play. And Matt Milano is a huge factor on this defense. When he's a huge impact for this defensive unit, and they're just not as good without him. Matt Milano missed 3 of Buffalo's games this year, and all those games were losses. The Bills are much better with him, like I said. The Bills blitz 35.8% of the time. That's eighth in the NFL, and Matt Milano is one of those guys that can break through the line of scrimmage, get to the quarterback. Um, in the Bills' victory, for instance, against Indianapolis in the wild card, he played 99% of the defensive snaps, and he finished with a team high level tackles, and he had a pass breakup. So he's very effective when he gets pressure on those opposing QBs. These are Matt Milano's stats. Actually, he had 35 tackles. I think he had 4 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. I think he had over like 20 pressures too. So dude's insane. He also had a pick. So he's definitely a big force on that Buffalo defense. And the Bills will benefit significantly with everybody healthy on their team. The Bills rely on their pass game, and the Chiefs will definitely struggle against their pass game. I have no doubt about that. But again, it could go either way. I'm sure they can really surprise them with the run too, especially with Josh Allen with those dangerous legs on the ground. So don't count the Bills out on offense, even though Kansas City has been playing good defense as of late. And Stephon Diggs will be a huge X factor in this game, of course, like he has been all season. Him and Josh Allen are just so dynamic, so dangerous, and a lot of teams have a hard time figuring those 2 guys out. And lastly, for the Bills secondary is very capable of keeping up with those speedy, elusive Kansas City wide receivers. They can account for Travis Kelsey too, of course. Mahomes' biggest weapons, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman. It's going to be hard because the Bills have a good secondary. Jordan Poyer, they have Micah Hyde, they have Tre'Davious White. How Tremaine Edmonds even drops back in coverage, and he's good back there too. So don't count their secondary out either, just because they have those wide receivers. And for the Chiefs, their offense on average puts up more than 415 yards per game. That's just an insane and mind-boggling stat. They're probably the best offense in the league, maybe up there with the Packers. Maybe they're tied. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey are both very scary. They both balled out against Cleveland. Another guy that's on defense, actually, Tyrann Mathieu, has been playing some of his best football, I think, in his career. And this season, he's been eating. He has 7 interceptions on the year, including a pick six last week against Baker Mayfield and the Browns. And it might be, very difficult still to account for Mahomes in this game, even though he's coming back from a possible concussion, but I don't think he had one. But he does have that toe injury. But who knows? Mahomes is just he's a magician. Nobody knows what this guy does. When he's not on camera on the field, he's just amazing. One of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen, and he's still very dangerous. So Buffalo has to account for Mahomes. Kansas City's defense has been playing very good of late, like I mentioned earlier. But we'll see how they'll handle a dangerous Buffalo offense, especially in the passing game. So I think Kansas City can keep up with them. They can stop Josh Allen like they did in Week 6, but it's going to be very difficult for them. But we'll see how that plays out. And L'Jarius Sneed on defense, he's been very good. One of the better rookie defensive backs that was drafted in the 4th round, of course. Chris Jones on the defensive line has been playing very good. Eric Bieniemy is an offensive genius, and he deserves a head coaching spot. I mean, Houston's the only one available, but we'll see what he does with that. Dude definitely deserves to be a head coach. Andy Reid is one of the best head coaches, of course, in the league, and they just orchestrate an excellent offense. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome to watch. Great TV. And Buffalo, however, they are a better team than Cleveland. And Kansas City did struggle a little bit against Cleveland. They only won by 1 possession last week against them, and the Browns did look like they were struggling. They didn't look very coherent as a unit, but they managed to hold their own against Kansas City, and they kept the game close. But so I guess we'll see how Kansas City handles this Buffalo team. So I have Buffalo winning this game 34-28. I think it's going to be a shootout. And let's just jump right into the Packers game, guys. So Packers favored to win the game. Tampa Bay, of course, in this game, they have team record 7 straight road games, all wins. So we'll see if they can do that again in Lambeau on Sunday. Green Bay is making its fourth NFC Championship appearance since 2014, and Aaron Rodgers is so clutch, so elite. He's the best quarterback this year by far. We'll see how he can handle Tampa Bay, but he definitely has a chance to bring Green Bay to another Super Bowl. So for the Bucks, here are their keys to victories. What I think the Bucks are making their first Super Bowl since 2003, and they're gonna have to go through Aaron Rodgers to do so, which is gonna be very difficult. Tom Brady, but however, Tom Brady, he's a force to be reckoned with, even at 43 years of age. Tom Brady is terrifying in the playoffs, especially in conference championships. Here's a stat for you guys. Tom Brady in the playoffs, he is 32-11. He won against Drew Brees last week in the divisional, and sadly, Drew Brees might retire, but Tom Brady did it in spectacular fashion. He had a great game. Uh, Brady has reached his ninth conference championship game in his last 10 years, and this will be his 14th conference championship game, and his first NFC one, of course. And that's the most in NFL history. Tom Brady is he's the GOAT, guys. Come on. Let's be honest. Brady set a franchise record and ranked second in the league with 40 touchdown passes this year, and he was third in passing yards with 4,633 yards. Tom Brady is just an animal. He's 43 years old. He's defying age. I don't know how he does it. He's just gonna. I think he's gonna have a good game against Green Bay. Honestly, Antonio Brown, however, he will not be playing this game because he is hurt. I don't remember exactly what the injury is, but he's just inactive. He's not playing. But the Bucks, they have Mike Evans, they have Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate is a good tight end. Gronk, of course, has had a very productive season, so they have to. Green Bay is going to have to account for him. Leonard Fournette is always dangerous. So is Ronald Jones. So I think Green Bay will have a difficult time on defense with all these weapons, and those guys are going to be huge X factors for Tampa in this game. In week 6, the Bucks beat Green Bay 38-10 in a blowout. They blitzed, they blitzed like hell all game against Rodgers and that offensive line. So maybe if they stick with that in this game, they can get the Rodgers again, force them to make bad mistakes, and disrupt the flow of that Green Bay offense that is so dangerous. Now for Green Bay to win this game, the Packers O line is going to have to keep playing like they have in the past 4 weeks. This unit wasn't all together when they played Tampa Bay in the previous week, but I think they can hold their own. They've been playing excellent, like I said. They have a very good chance of stopping that blitz. And of course, they have Aaron Rodgers back there, and he's an improviser in his own right. Aaron Rodgers led the NFL with 48 touchdowns, tied for the fifth most in a single season. Aaron Rodgers, 37 years old, and he's just defying the odds too. He's defying, age. Uh, he became the first quarterback with 3 seasons of 40 plus touchdown passes. So if he's not your MVP, I don't know who is. Devontae Adams is a beast. Him and Aaron Rodgers are so dangerous. So it's going to be difficult for Tampa Bay in this game, of course, to account for those guys. Um, Here's another stat. Who is this? Aaron Jones, right? Aaron Jones. He's playing for another contract. We'll see if Green Bay resigns him. But he had a great game against Los Angeles last week. He ranked seventh in the NFL with 1,459 yards from scrimmage. Had 11 total touchdowns, and he missed a few games in the process. So dude is very productive. And he helps Green Bay win. So he's going to be important in this game. Aaron Jones has 28 touchdowns in 28 career home games, including the playoffs. So dude is definitely dangerous even in the postseason. He's looking for his fifth home game in a row with 100 or more scrimmage yards. So like I said, he's so dynamic even in the passing game. So Tampa Bay is going to have to find a way to account for him. And their defense, Green Bay, they can definitely manage Tom Brady and that dangerous Bucks offense. But they're gonna have to watch out for guys like, Devin White, Levante David, that linebacking core. They have Jason Pierre-Paul. Those guys are so dangerous. They can get pressure. And Devin White, hell, it looks like you could even play defensive back. Dude is just so dynamic. He's a great athlete. The Bucks just have an all-around good defense, and I definitely think they can win. But on the other hand, Green Bay, they have a terrific offense. They have a great defense. Jair Alexander probably will lock down Mike Evans. He has a great streak right now of not giving up any big games. But I have them winning this game 27-21, and those are my predictions for this week. Those are my scores, and those are my keys to victory. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate the support that all you guys are giving me. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And of course, I'll have a video coming out on Monday after Sunday's games. Don't forget to tune into those games, guys, and I hope you have a good weekend.